That is slick.
Yeah, I went all the way down.
I went all the way down, except I caught myself.
Yeah, remember that time when we walked on it?
I'd have had a muddy hind end from that one.
Hold on. You didn't even get anywhere.
I know, I caught myself with my arm, thank goodness. Those thorns on that. Me and Carter was talking about that last time we was here. Those, every time I see them, it reminds me of the crown of thorns they put on Jesus. I don't know how big they were or anything like that, but I've always thought of that when I see those thorns. Me and Carter's out here again, about to split probably the last of this cherry wood, and I brought some different axes with me. And something I've discovered since being here, this electric fence that was off, seemed to be off before anyways. It seemed to be, because I touched all over it up there. If you've seen my other videos with me coming in and out here, well, it's not off anymore. It got me really good when I was going under it. I was actually crawling under it, and I guess my back touched it, and I heard it like a and when I did, I've never been shocked that bad in my life. That's the worst shock I've ever took.
He hollered loud.
Yeah, I literally screamed. I mean, it got me right above the hind end, and it hit so hard I felt it in my whole body. I've never been shocked like that. And I've been shocked a few different times, you know, by like light sockets and stuff like that, but nothing like that. Right there's I don't know if he's got that turned all the way up for the cattle or what, but I'm telling you one thing, I've never been shocked that bad. I wouldn't want to again. I wasn't expecting it. I heard the pop, and then in my whole body felt it. I mean, my shoulders, my chest, my legs, everything felt it, except maybe my head. I think it's the only thing. But if I'm not mistaken, literally everything felt that shock. That was a bad shock. So now we're going to be very careful around this fence from now on. Very careful around it.
Gary, I just love this axe.
Carter told me to record that. He wanted to bring his axe with him. Yeah. People like to come to this creek crossing. I've never seen that many at once. They come to this creek crossing because it's like mudding. Get them here. It may be too deep for them right now. It's pretty deep. Pretty neat to catch this.
It is, isn't it?
I've seen lots of people bring stuff like that. That's pretty deep. Look at it. Look how they're getting into it there, that first one. Going for it. Oh yeah, no problem. There we go. That's pretty deep though right now. It's actually up pretty good. Come the rest. Hey, that is fun too though, four-wheel driving like that out in the mud. I've done it with my truck and everything like that, but it is very fun. I have to say. Beautiful day to do it too. This is what we caught this. Never seen this many.
Me neither.
Neat, isn't it, Carter?
Yeah.
It's the last one, I believe. Man, that's deep. That's deep. Those things had no problem with it though.
Wow, they made it.
Look at the tires on that Jeep. Yeah, if they got it, you got a Jeepy. Now you know the Jeeps are good at four-wheel driving. Everybody know, or many people know that already. Oh yeah,
I didn't know that.
that's what they use most of the time.
No.
Come on now, Jeep, don't be scared. Don't be scared now. You got it. Yeah, with them big tires, it don't even come up to the cab on that. To the floor. Go, Jeep. What are you doing, Jeep?
What's it doing?
I don't know, what are you doing? What do you do, just pop it four-wheel drive? Oh, no problem. Yeah, me and Carter head back out to this, guess you could call it like a farm, a cattle farm. and we've been there in previous videos. But this will probably be not the last time, but one of the last times that we'll probably be out there. And I'll be at that creek many times more. We go there sometimes. The kids really love going there. I enjoy going there, and my wife does. So it's just a pretty place to go and visit. And lots of other people do too. Like today while we were there, some people came and were fishing. But it's just a really pretty place to visit. And most of the wood from there, though, I've got bucked up, and then after this day here, we had most of it split up as well. So, and what I'm doing now with the wood is stacking it at home. I'm not selling at this point. It's just stacking the wood now. So, as I said before, I do landscaping as well, and I do junk removal too, where I go and just haul off junk for people. Like I'll bring a trailer or a truck bed or whatever, depending on how much there is, and I'll haul that off. But so now the firewood is just going to be stacked, which I don't usually do, to be honest. Usually I just get the seasoned wood where it's been dealt for so long and split it and take it on. But I'm excited about really stacking a lot of it up. I want to grow the firewood business and make a lot more sales during the winter per day. But here I'm using the single bit that Gary gave me. It's a really good axe too. I love that axe. I wasn't at all trying to belittle that axe by any means when I said the fiskars splits better. I was just telling the truth about it. It does split better than that axe. But it splits better than any other axe I've ever used as well. It splits better, I believe, than most axes you'll ever come across. I truly believe that, just because of the design. And you hear me talk about it a lot, and I'll probably continue to, because I intend to use fiskars for a long time. But as I said, the plan is to forge an axe head as well myself, but it's going to be similar to that fiskars. Because in my own experience, I'm not going off what somebody else said. I'm going with my own experience with the fiskars and with other axes. I've seen how well it works. So, and here's Daniel's double bit. I'm actually about to take that back to him soon. I've got to bring that to him, and I've got a part of a sycamore slab I'm bringing to him as well. So, but I can say one thing for sure. I've put the axe to the test now. I split a few different times with it, and split a decent amount of wood when I did split. So it's solid. And what I'm doing here, as you see, this wood's already split. I'm going back with that double bit and splitting it up more. To me, it's good for something like that, And this is cherry, and it splits relatively easy. But even like some of those taller rounds, because some of these rounds here are 18 inches and 20 inches, 16. They're all kind of different here. If I'm not mistaken, one of the people I delivered to here were wanting bigger stuff from some of this cherry. So when it's kind of big around and stuff, that double bit struggles with it. It's good for wood that's already split up, or maybe smaller rounds, or certain types of wood like poplar and stuff like that. But so what I'm doing with it, I love swinging a double bit. I really do. I really enjoy swinging them, very much so. I ordered one the other day on eBay, actually, because the splitting profile looks so good on this axe. I ordered it. It was a double bit. And I turned around and ended up canceling it after I seen how small the axe was. And some of y'all may have seen this axe before or heard of it. I don't think it's like an axe that's even really meant to be used a whole lot. What did they call that thing? It was a little bitty short axe. So you can't really tell how short it is in the pictures. But then when I got to reading and read how short it was, I thought to myself, okay, well, that's way too little. But the head on it, the profile was, you could tell it would split good by looking at it. And it was a double bit. I think it was some kind of hunter's axe or something it was calling it. A hunter's axe. And it was a double bit, and the profile was very wide, very thick. It was a beefy profile. It looked like it would split really good. Something I noticed today, too, when we were there, because right now it's nighttime, and I'm actually sitting in my van editing this right now. The kids are inside, and before long we'll probably be getting ready to go to bed, and it's a little after 9 o'clock. And something I noticed today when we were out there was everything starting to grow again, and I love that. I saw flowers growing, I saw trees starting to grow leaves and stuff, and different bushes and stuff, and I'm always happy to see that. Very happy. I haven't mowed yet this time myself, but people in my area have been, but I'm about to. And I'll be making some videos on mowing as well, some overgrown lawns and stuff.
But you see that one back there, how much shorter it is than the rest of them? That's why I was saying some of this is just different sizes than the rest. I really do enjoy splitting cherry. And I kind of switch between the axes here. Like whenever the rounds were, about average size, I would get that single bit that I got from Gary back there and split with. I really love how that axe feels, and I love how it splits. The only thing is when it's hardwood, it just doesn't have that profile that the fiskars does, that wedge shape quite as much, so it doesn't separate it, and then it gets stuck a little more too. But I love that axe. I'm very appreciative of it. Plan to bring it with me a lot more, actually. It and some others too, because I'm not against using all kinds of different axes. Like I said in one of my videos before, and I hope I didn't offend anybody with this. I truly do. But I was talking about how that I seen people go out and they would use axes that didn't have the right profile for splitting, and how I would watch them fight the wood and just struggle really with the wood. And men have the right to do whatever they want to. I'm just a man giving my opinion on it based on what I've used and how I split and stuff. So I hope I don't offend anybody with that. I truly do, because it's like, as far as me going out and chopping down a tree, with an axe, that's not productive, It's just for fun. So for men to go out and use axes with, even if they, maybe aren't the best splitting profiles, in my opinion, if they want to do that, that's their right. And if they enjoy it, there's nothing wrong with that at all. And I think I said something to nature, there's no sense in it. And really, if you're splitting production, I don't think there is. But everybody has the right to do what they want. So I hope I don't offend anybody in saying that. Sometimes I kind of talk a lot, and I need to be slower to speak sometimes. I'm not afraid to speak what I feel, but I don't want to say things either that I just intentionally to offend somebody. But what I was saying is, though, I just think there is certain axes that have far better splitting profiles than others. Some of them make splitting almost a nightmare, really. Like when I've tried to split white oak with axes that don't really have that profile, it's I don't even enjoy it. I don't even enjoy it using an axe that doesn't have a good profile whenever I'm splitting something like that, because it tires you so much. I've literally had to hammer them out with other axes before. They got stuck so bad in white oak that, I tried to pull it out as much as I could. I probably would have broke the handle trying to get it out. And so I had to hammer it out with another axe. And that's what I mean by having the right profile, And so for me, like as I said, I love a good handle as well. And I'm not against wooden handles either. I'm really not. I love wooden handles. I love to watch videos of guys making them. I enjoy making them myself, even though I'm an amateur at it. I truly love making them and plan to do it many more times in the future, Lord willing. But I'm not against fiberglass either, just like some guys are. I've noticed some guys seem dead set against it, and I'm just not that way. I'm not. And I'm not gonna say that I am either, to try to fit in a group or to feel like I'm in some sort of group or something. I'm not for that. I'm just gonna speak what I feel is the truth. But Carter's really enjoying splitting too. You see him back there kind of flipping that one. Me and him split. We've been splitting together the last 3 or 4 times I've split. He's split with me, I believe, and I enjoy it, and I can tell he really enjoys it too. Even when we left today, he was walking around looking for more wood to split, and I told him, I was like, all right, Carter, come on, let's go. But I could see that he was getting really confident really fast, and I just tried to tell him, I said, Carter, just take your time and be slow. I said, you do not want to hit yourself with that axe. Because for one thing, Gary's got it really sharp, that axe. All the axes I got from Gary were extremely sharp. And so I told him to just be careful. Because I chopped a branch with one of them, and that's why I told him. He's talking about how quick it chopped through it. And I said, imagine what that would do if you hit your leg with it. You need to be really careful with these axes. So I've had close calls with them myself. And, I've swung them many, many times over the last going on 5 years now. But, and I know that don't sound like a long time either, 5 years, but when you're doing it, in the winter full time for a job, you're going to, if you stay pretty busy anyways, you're going to go through a lot of wood. You're going to swing that axe a lot of times. And Gary told me, I think, that there was an old man, maybe at a flea market, that had a booth. And I think that old man, I can't remember, he was up there in age, if I'm not mistaken, if I remember correctly. But Gary said that he had made a lot of those handles, I believe. Those hickory handles there. And I can't remember how long ago it was he bought them from him. But I think Gary said that he went and bought every one of them that the old man had, if I'm not mistaken. And so that single bit that I've got there, and then I've got a double bit from Gary too. And I think both, if I'm not mistaken, both of those handles came from that same man, old man's booth, and he did a real good job making those handles. The grain in them is beautiful. I love wood. Don't get me wrong when I say that I'm not against fiberglass. I love wooden handles. I do. I'm just not against, as I said, I'm not against fiberglass. Now, if it's a certain type of fiberglass or something, like I've seen some guys use them that flex, and I've seen the guys have trouble getting the axes out of the wood because when they go to hit the handle, you know, and break it free, the axe flexes. I've seen a guy struggle trying to get one out before. And now that I would not want nothing like that. You know, if it don't perform good, I'm not for it. You know, I'll tell you. But the Fiskars performs a 10 out of 10 on everything. I've even heard guys say before, you know, yeah, what a Fiskars is good for, you know, is giving to somebody that doesn't know what they're doing with an axe. That way they don't break it. Now, I've heard guys say that stuff before, and no, I'll tell you what a Fiskars is good for is splitting wood. That's what a Fiskars splitting axe is good for. It's good for splitting wood. Of course, it's good for giving to somebody that's an amateur because they're not going to break it. Very unlikely that they'll break that axe. But what a Fiskars is good for is splitting wood. It's good for what it was designed for. That's exactly what it's good for. And I would put a Fiskars splitting axe against any splitting axe that anybody has. I would. That's how much confidence I have in that axe. They're 10s out of 10s. In my opinion, 100%. They are a 10 out of 10. They come out of the wood very well. They split very well. They're comfortable. You know, myself, like even when I make my own, I don't want to have a 5.5 pound, 6 pound axe myself. That Fiskars, part of what I love about it so much is it has that wedge shape so that it splits the wood. But I also love how it's not too heavy. Like a maul that you get, a standard maul is around 8 pounds. But that's just the head. You know, that's not counting the handle weight. So once you put that handle in there, you're probably talking 10, 11 pounds. You know, a Fiskars altogether, if I'm not mistaken, is like 5.5, 6 pounds altogether. So when you're getting an axe head, that's 6 pounds. And then you put that handle weight in there too, you're talking 7, 8 pounds probably. Probably 7.5, 8 pounds, something like that. And it just, to me, I've split with mauls as well, you know, splitting angles or hitting angles with them. And to me, you can do that, but it's not nearly as efficient or comfortable for you. So that's something that really shines with the Fiskars. Really, everything does on it, honestly. I think they just really took the time to make that axe. I mean, I really do. And I'll tell you if I don't like something as well. Like these Brunt boots, I love them so far too. They're great boots. But I'll tell you one thing, I'll be honest about them too. The break-in period on them, it was rough. The break-in period was rough on those Brunts. It was bad for me. But now that they are getting broke in, I'm close to, I think I'm 3 days away from having them for a month now. And I'll give an honest review about them as well. Like 3 months, I plan to do a 3-month review on them. And I'm going to say, you know, if I like them and give them a rating and everything like that. Say what I don't like, what I do like. I'll tell you one thing that I don't like about them right off the bat is how hard they are to get on and off. I don't think I've ever had a boot that was that hard to get on and off. But maybe that's just logging boots, you know. Normally that's not what I get. That's actually the first pair of logging boots I had. And the reason I went with them is because I like those ankle supports that they have. And I figured the terrain that I walked on, they'd be really good for that. But I don't know if all logging boots are that hard to get on and off, or if it's just those, or I needed a wider size or what. But I can tell you one thing, I struggle to get those boots on and off. And normally that's never a problem for me. And I'm hoping that they get easier, you know. And I'll tell you another thing too, they're just, once I do get them on, like I have both the insoles that went in them, I've got both of those out right now. Normally, I think they say, you know, if you've got a wider foot to take one of the insoles out. Well, I've got them both out, you know, for it to be comfortable to me. But then I'm losing that cushion from the insoles, you know. So I don't like that about them. And I may have just needed a wider size. I've got a wide foot, wider than most people probably. My hands are kind of big too for my size. I mean, as far as width goes, I've got like thick fingers and stuff, and my feet are the same way. I'm not a tall guy, but I'm just kind of, I guess, built thicker. And my little boy's feet are the same way. Like, we got to get him a wider shoe. Like, if we get him a shoe that's just regular, they're too tight on them. It's kind of the same way with me. So those Brunts, and maybe it's just my feet or whatever, but I would like them a lot better if I could, you know, keep the insole in them, because that's a lot of support you're losing when you take that out. But other than that, they've got far more comfortable now. And also they I won't say too much. I'm almost doing a review on them right now. So I'll just drop it there. I'll say that much about them. I want to do a review video. I don't want to say everything I'm going to say in the review video. They're growing, that company, Brunt. They're growing. And I'm not going to recommend them until I'm confident in that recommendation. I'm not going to tell somebody to go get them and then them go get them and not be satisfied, and me knowing from my own experience that I wasn't satisfied. If I'm satisfied with them, then I'll recommend them. And so far I am, As I said, the break-in period was rough, and I probably just needed a wider size boot. I may try some of their pants as well. They do pants as well. I've got another thing coming too. A company reached out to me about a solar generator or something. Asked if I was interested in trying that, and I told them yeah. So I actually am interested in trying it. Like in my shed outside, it doesn't have electric except for what I run from our home. So, and sometimes I'm tripping the breaker and stuff because of that, because I've just got an extension cord ran to it and I use the electric like that. But if that generator, I thought would probably be good for my shed for when I need the electric and stuff. Because I go out there and work on axes and stuff at nighttime and different things. Carter goes out there with me usually, and I plan to put a lot more together. I've got quite a few heads laying around right now that I need to hang, actually.
It's also a good axe.
But yeah, I'm really glad to see spring coming. Or spring here now. It's here. I'm glad to see it showing itself. I'm glad to see everything beginning to grow again. Very glad of that. I'm selling the old Dodgy Wadgy soon too. And then I'm planning to get a dump truck, either a 3/4 ton or a 1 ton, just so it'll make things so much easier for me in everything that I do in the junk removal and the landscaping and in the firewood. So I'd like to have I told my wife, I said, I'd like to have, $20,000-$30,000 worth of firewood sitting out there in the yard, and then just be ready to go load it when it's time. So 100 full cords of wood would be $30,000 for me, because I sell it for $300 a cord. So, and that's a lot of wood too. You got to think a full cord is about 3 6-foot truck beds loosely thrown in, So it's quite a bit of wood, really.
He came again, the farmer.
But I'd like to have at least 50 full cords out in my lawn if I could.
Farmer, but so we got all that split, and Carter did his first down the middle video.
Yeah.
Pretty proud of that, ain't you? It's been a pretty day today, though. We've just kind of, actually, I'm probably gonna bring my kids to the creek sometime here soon. Yeah, I'm gonna bring my kids to this creek sometime here soon. We love it out here. But we got some cherry split there. Let's see. Back there's a little. It's kind of scattered out, really. Even over that way, there's some. Just kind of walked around, splitting that. We got most of the rounds and put them in one area, or 2 different areas, really, like right here, and then right there. And then the rest of the stuff that was sitting, we just kind of walked around and split it. Carter's been practicing quite a bit, though. He's getting better. He's getting better. Learning more techniques. He's been lifting the wood up with his axe and stuff more, and then he see how he's hitting the handle there to get the axe head out. He's learned how to do that, so he's getting better at it. But I think we're about done for the day. I'm gonna head on home, relax. It's fun, ain't it, Carter?
Yeah.
Good for you. Makes you feel good when you do it, don't it? It really does. Splitting wood makes you feel good. Huh?
I'm sick and tired of playing.
You tired of playing?
I'm playing with an axe now.
You're an axeman, ain't you? Axe boy.
There's only one thing I'm missing.
What?
A hoodie.
Huh?
A hoodie.
The axeman hoodie?
Yeah.
You need to get you one. But we appreciate you watching.
Yeah.
And anybody that does this kind of stuff, or whatever work you do, be safe, and God bless you.